Yeah. I promise you, if we ever sell merch, it'll be not made by me. That's my guarantee. Actualization is the highest level of psychological development and the complete realization of one's full potential.
In this podcast, we talk about productivity, health, and mindset to help you reach your full potential and actually actualize.
I'm Paige.
I'm Sydney.
Let's get to it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. Hi, Sydney.
Hi, Paige. So I thought we could check in on how we're doing with our goals.
Yes.
That we talked about in our very first ep.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I know that mine was to travel more.
Yes.
And I've been traveling.
You've been traveling, girl. You have been. You're always going somewhere.
I know. I thought that maybe I would take February off, but I'm going to Colorado, so.
Love it.
So I've been traveling. Paige, what about you? What about how have you been doing on your goals?
Really good. I wanted to focus on my business, my finances, understanding where my finances are, really solidifying my process, just how I'm getting clients, how I'm getting paid, how I'm finding all that stuff, how I'm marketing. And it's been going really good. I'm in a course. I don't know if you know that.
No, I don't think you.
So it's called Online Business Launch Lab, and it's run by Latasha James, and it's really cool. It's like a cohort model. So every week we meet in a group on Zoom, and I learn different, like how to set up an email funnel, how to start a email list, how to create different things that you need for your business. So I've been focusing a lot of my energy on that, and I can see that it's paying off. So that's awesome. Whatever you focus your energy towards, it just seems like it makes shit happen. It's like I focus my energy on finding clients or streamlining this process, and then I start getting more clients or things start getting easier. It's crazy the power that your mind has when you just focus on things. So my goals are good. My goals are going good so far.
Yay. I did want to tell you something that happened when I was going to Tampa in January. So I got to the airport and I realized that I forgot my AirPods, and I was really upset because I had planned, I had queued up all these podcasts I was going to listen to, and I'm like, well, I can't. So literally at the airport, I download a few books on my phone because I'm like, I got to do something.
Right.
And I just decided to do, I already had some personal development books on my phone, but I was like, I want just some fun ones. And so I just downloaded a few fun books, psychological thrillers.
Oh.
That's my favorite fictional genre. And I read 2 whole books in 3 days.
Dang, girl. See what happens when you get rid of the AirPods?
Right. I was like, and I couldn't put it down. I was just, and when I flew back, I was on my second book, and I got home and I just read the rest of it.
What books were they?
I'll have to go and look at that. It's an author I hadn't read before, but I ended up, after the first book I got through so fast, I was like, let me go and look and see if she has any other ones, and she did. So I went ahead and downloaded them. And so, I feel like, I'm a reader again.
Look at you. I want to read more fiction. Oh, I really do.
Paige used to have a whole YouTube channel.
I did.
On
Pages, and I would talk all about books. It was so cool when I was a teacher, and I had my students loved that I had that YouTube. But that's definitely a goal of mine, to get back into reading fiction, because that's important too.
I know. I'm really been trying to think of how I can add that in, because I feel like I always do this. I won't read for forever, and then I'll just binge read.
Yep. My thing is, it really helps me when I write, because I'm writing mystery. I don't think it's really a psychological thriller. It's gonna kind of like a mystery. I'm not really sure yet, but I have like my characters and my scene, and I don't know, maybe one day it'll be published. But it's helpful to read other, fiction stories and get inspiration. So I need to.
Yeah. We're like in the Uber and I'm like reading.
I love that, because the more you get to do the things that bring you joy, it brings you closer to actualization.
Which is what we're talking about today.
What? You see what I did there?
Nice.
Thanks.
I was wondering how we were going to transition.
I
know. You nailed it.
So today we're talking about actualization, because our podcast name is Actually Actualized.
Right. So we thought we should maybe like explain what that is.
Just a little bit more than our little snippet in the intro.
Really get into it.
Okay, so let's get actualized.
Yes.
All right.
So figure out what that even means.
So self-actualization is based off of Maslow's pyramid of needs. So Maslow has 5 basic levels, or not basic levels, 5 levels in this pyramid. And 2 of the levels, which are on the bottom, are like your basic needs. So 1, your need for food, shelter, sleep, health.
Yeah. Now I feel like we talk about this pyramid a lot, like especially in education. We talk about like if kids' physiological needs aren't being met, then we can't expect them to learn.
Yes.
So give them breakfast. Make sure that those basic needs are being met first, because you can't really expect people to do anything else if those aren't being met. So.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So making sure that you have, so your safety could be like, you have a place to live, you have a home, you have stable income, you're not worried about, what you're going to do next month, stuff like that. And then, just taking care of your body, which also includes sleep.
It does include sleep. And guys, just for the record, I do sleep, okay? I sleep, and it's also a goal of mine to get more sleep. So
me too.
I know that I don't want to put out the vibe that people should work super hard and not sleep. And because I feel like sometimes I can come across that way. So I just wanted to clarify that too.
Yeah, and
it's
you
so
really
important.
have been working on getting more sleep. I think we talked about like there's a season for everything, maybe there's some times when you really have to get less sleep, but it shouldn't be like a permanent situation.
Yeah. Sleep's important, y'all.
Yes. The basic physiological needs.
Yes.
Okay, so then what comes up after that?
So next we have security and protection. So feeling safe.
Right.
When you're at home, your relationships are safe.
You're not in a dangerous relationship.
Right.
Things like that.
Because you cannot reach actualization if you're
worried about that.
Yeah. There's just no way.
Right.
And then we move up to more of our social needs and kind of So once those basic needs are met, we can really focus on our friendships, our romantic relationships, things like that, with how we're interacting with other people.
Feeling loved and accepted by others.
Yes, because our need for emotions as humans, we have a need to create relationships, to communicate with people. And so that really drives our behavior, that need for belongingness. And that can be good behavior or bad behavior. Some people do interesting things when they are feeling like they need to belong.
Exactly.
Yes. So we have belongingness, friends, relationship, and then so that's that 3rd level. So that fourth step is esteem and respect.
Yeah.
Feeling like you have a purpose, that you are respected, that valued, confidence, you have confidence in yourself, right? And all of those things come together.
Yeah. If you have all of those things, then you can taste actualization.
You can taste it. That brings you to that self-actualization, which is living according to your fullest potential.
Right. Becoming who you're meant to be.
Yes. Yes.
Doing what you're meant to do. All of that. Good stuff.
And
Like,
that's the goal.
That's our whole, like, what everybody wants, right? We want to be happy. We want to feel like we're living out, who we want to be remembered as, like that kind of thing.
What's really beautiful is no matter who you are, no matter where you are, unless you're like a sociopath, every person wants to be happy.
Right.
No matter what part of the world you're in, we are all connected in that need for happiness and belonging and having a purpose. Everyone wants that.
Right.
Everyone wants that. It's just so hard to get that because it can be hard to get those first 4 levels met.
And it's not like one of those things like, oh, I got to it, so like I'm good.
I'm here.
I've made it. Like, no, it's a constant. You're constantly trying to fulfill all of those things. I kind of see it as like The Sims. It's like when you're trying to fulfill all of their needs, Like, even when you get everything in the green, it's not going to stay like that for very long.
Nope.
Like, you're constantly needing to refill. You're constantly needing to,
Oh, and with the Sims, if your Sim is super, super sleepy or super, super hungry, and then you try to make it go interact with someone or have a conversation or even like watch TV or something, they'll be like, I can't do that. I'm too hungry. And they won't do that thing.
Right. Or
That's
they'll
funny.
be like, they'll have like a negative interaction with the other Sim because they're like cranky.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Which is, realistic. So they must have based the game off of this pyramid, obviously.
Sydnee, I didn't know that you played The Sims.
Yeah.
Did I know that? And I just forget.
So.
I'd be forgetting stuff.
I don't like currently play it like you.
I like legit, guys, write it in my bullet journal. Play The Sims.
Yeah, that's one of the ways Paige unwinds.
It's my jam.
Yeah. Well, then you got Charlotte on it too.
I did. I got my daughter on The Sims, and she is going to be an awesome builder. She builds awesome houses already.
The other day she was like, Mom, your outfit looks like a Sims outfit. And Paige was like, oh my God, thank you. So, but I feel like it's a good example of showing that, like, okay, these aren't just like boxes you can check off. Like, you're constantly trying to balance all of these things, which can seem really overwhelming at times.
Oh, it's so overwhelming.
Because it's difficult. It's difficult to make sure that all of your physiological needs are being met all of the time. Yep. Even when you build the habits and routines to make sure that you're regularly doing that, it's still something you have to actively do. And like building relationships with people like that takes effort too.
Yes.
All of it. So it's hard, but it's worth it.
So worth it. Because once you get to that state where it's just like you have this clear vision and purpose and you know where you're going, what you want to do. And there's so much freedom that comes with actualization.
Right. And that makes it worth it to like want to keep striving to get there.
Because a self-actualized person, they are self-aware. They're not concerned with, what everyone else is doing, what everyone else is saying. They are so confident and secure within themselves, and they're just interested in fulfilling their potential.
Right.
That's what an actualized person does. So we kind of have a brief overview of Maslow's hierarchy of needs and how we get to self-actualization, but I thought it would be cool and interesting for people to hear kind of our journey with the different steps a little bit, and maybe that can help you get some ideas or relate or just help you move down the journey.
Or like find a step, like it's not like you can just overnight get all these things fulfilled.
Also, like Sydney and I are not sitting here saying we are self-actualized.
Right. We are permanently in that top tier.
No.
Like, no, it's hard for us too.
Yeah.
But we do have some, at least like being aware of it and knowing what we need in order to get there.
Yeah.
So we're just going to share some things we've done to try to live that balance.
And actualize.
So physiological needs, so that's like your health. So your nutrition, your exercise, your like mind body connection, like all of that stuff. I feel like that's where we kind of both started.
Yep.
Before we could ever reach actualization. And because I really didn't realize how much of my time was spent like thinking about that and like being unfulfilled or like stressed about it, you know? Like, I mean, how many times do you hear like, oh, I need to lose weight.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to eat better. Oh, I need to like figuring that part out. And again, like not saying I'm a complete expert on it, but I do feel like I have a much better relationship with food, relationship with health now, because I have figured out some things that I know work for me and that make me feel good. And so I just feel a lot more confident in that area. And so when I notice like things start getting out of balance, I'm like, okay, let's check.
Right.
How's my macros?
Right.
How's my, am I getting enough movement and like that type of thing? That's really...
Sorry. That's a note for me.
Okay,
Sorry.
I thought you were like writing me a note, and I'm like,
no, I just wanted to remember something. Keep going.
So yeah, I feel like you have to start there. So if you feel like you're not like living a super healthy lifestyle, like maybe start with like, and it doesn't have to be all at once. Like you don't have to like, eat super healthy, work out, all this stuff.
Right.
Like just start with what is one action you can take to fulfill those physiological needs?
What I wrote down was that I noticed after the fact, after I got healthy and got my diet on track and really had a consistent workout plan, how much it was holding me back that I didn't have those things. Like how just focusing on health and fitness, it kind of lined up everything that was to come. And I wasn't able to be my best self because I wasn't feeling fueled. I wasn't fueling my body with food that was going to make it its best self. I wasn't feeling confident in my body because I wasn't treating it like I should by exercising. And so it was really holding me back from actualization because I thought maybe I couldn't do those things or... You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And it brings you, once you do start taking care of yourself like that, it brings you more energy that you can then put forth in some of those other areas.
So much energy.
Yeah.
So much energy. Yeah. No, for real.
Yeah.
It's a game changer how much energy
it is. And I mean, even now, like,
you.
I feel like Paige and I, our biggest focus right now is sleep. Because we realized that is something that we both get. I mean, really, we all could get more sleep, right?
Yeah.
But it's a matter of, like, I'm, like, literally tracking it every day, like, how much sleep I'm getting, because I feel like it really does affect. We were talking about, like, how it can even affect your weight.
Yes.
Like, it can even affect, like, your fat loss and, like, things like that. If you're not getting enough sleep, it's causing stress on your body. If you're stressed out, then you can't lose weight. You know? So it's all connected.
Yep.
So really focusing on that base layer first is so important.
Yep. So really think about what you need to do to get that in order. And then we go on to safety.
Right.
And just feeling secure. And I think that came just with time. I think for some people, that just comes with getting into your job and just maturing and making better financial decisions and focusing on finances to get to that secure place.
Exactly. So that you're not constantly worried about, you know, how I'm going to pay my bills this month, like that type of thing. Figuring out how you can feel safe in that aspect of your life is going to allow you to focus on the parts.
Because it's hard to do things that you're passionate about, things that are really going to bring you joy, if you're worried about, you know, do I feel safe at home? Relationships, making sure you have safe relationships, that you're, you know, in a place where you can really grow and thrive. But it starts with feeling safe and secure.
Right. Or also just like not putting yourself in situations that are going to be dangerous. I mean, whether you do intentionally or not, like I know that can be like a big stressor too. Then we have that belonging, that sense of belonging. So that's like your relationships, love, that like feeling accepted and loved by others. So how have you done that, Paige?
By focusing on who are the people in my lives that are lifting me up, like really thinking about how do I feel when I'm around these people, and being able to identify if it's a toxic relationship or not, and then being okay with getting rid of those toxic relationships. Doing that and making sure that the people that I do concern myself with and interact with are people who have the same values and are positive and breathe light into me has really helped me proceed to the next step of actualization, because I have people around me that are just awesome.
Right, exactly. It really makes a difference. And I know it can be hard when, you know, you've been in a relationship with people or friendships, like things like that, and there's different seasons for all of that. But I think that really evaluating, okay, after I've spent time with these people, how did it make me feel afterward? Like, did I feel filled up? Did I feel like in light, like, oh, I had such a great time? Or do you feel bad? Like, do you feel like, oh God, that person just made me, feel some type of way or whatever? Or they put all their stuff on me, and like it was just not a good time. And I feel like as you get older, grow out of those early 20s, like you really start to kind of evaluate, okay, what relationships are really serving me, and really trying to be intentional with your time, because you only have so much time. And you want to make sure that you're feeding into relationships that are actually going to make you feel that sense of belonging.
Yeah. And I think you also need to know yourself, right? You need to know what you need from a relationship, because it's different for everyone. Like what the types of things that you need. Everyone has different love languages, right? So being able to know yourself, knowing what you need. And I think I was finally in a place where I know the type of friendships, the type of relationships that I need to keep me going.
And being able to communicate that with people too, because sometimes your needs change.
Yes, they do.
And so being able to communicate, like, this is really what I need from you right now, or even just like pointing out when they are doing something that's making you feel really good. Like, I love Paige when you send me, Marcos like this, they really help motivate me, or whatever, just like communicating them and pointing out when you do feel like, that was really helpful to me.
Yes. Yeah.
So then the next one is esteem. So that's like, having a sense of purpose, feeling valued and appreciated. And I really think of this one as like in your job. I mean, I know you can look at it a lot of different ways, but kind of, from our last episode when we were talking about making sure you're feeling that sense of purpose and appreciation, and that your job is bringing you joy, things like that. Like, then once you have all those other things below met, you can really start evaluating, like, am I getting this out of what I'm spending most of my time doing?
Yes, because everyone needs to feel valued, and they need to feel confident, and they need to feel like they are respected. And yes, it's with your job, but it's also with your relationships as well. So it's kind of tied together, because a lot of times people want to belong. So we're in that third level. They want to belong and have connections. Yes. Yeah. But sometimes you're chasing that so much that you're not paying attention to how people are treating you, how, like, the respect that you're getting. Like, you can really overextend, try so hard to make a relationship work or make a friendship work.
Well, I feel like when you're in that stage too, and like, again, everything below is being met, then you can really start demanding the respect that you deserve from all aspects of your life, whether it's from your job, like, what, I don't deserve to be treated this way, or I don't deserve to have my time wasted this way, or whatever it is. Like, if they're asking you to do something that you feel like is not what you're there to do, I feel like when you're in that stage, that esteem stage, you can recognize, like, no, that's not respecting me.
Yeah.
And same with relationships. If someone does something, or because you already have that sense of belonging, you have strong relationships. You're able to recognize, like, oh, I'm not going to allow you to talk to me that way, or I'm not going to allow you to treat me that way. And having the confidence to be able to do that. I mean, it's hard.
It is hard. For me, something that I've really stepped into is really owning the fact that I am smart and I'm capable of doing so many things. A lot of time in my life, like growing up, I was the singer and the dancer and very charismatic and bubbly and funny, and I would be the butt of people's jokes a lot of times, not even always in a mean way, just I'm just that person, like the funny one, But sometimes I don't, like, that's not who I am all the time, though. I'm more than, your joke. I'm more than, a singer or a whatever.
You can be taken seriously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're smart and you have a lot to offer.
And I really started to step into that and step into the fact that, no, I know what I'm talking about, actually. Yeah. And I know what I'm going to do, or I have a plan. Having that respect. And when you have that for yourself, you really see people, they treat you differently.
Yeah.
They really do.
They do. Yeah. When you demand a certain level of respect, people, a lot of times, they're just going to give it to you. Yeah.
Because there's no other option.
Exactly.
You're going to respect me and who I am, or kick rocks.
Right. I think it also comes with, like, we've talked a little bit, you and I have talked about, like, that doubt that kind of creeps in, that self-doubt of like, am I really good enough to be doing this job? Do I know what I'm talking about? But like, when other people see that, like, then of course they're going to doubt you, but when you go into it with the confidence of, like, I do know what I'm doing, actually. I do. And not to say that, like, you don't have anything to learn, but, like, having that confidence, I feel like that is where that esteem level, that's where that kind of comes in, where you can give yourself the confidence that even if you don't feel like you're an expert yet, you can give yourself the respect of, I do know what I'm talking about. And, people are going to notice that.
And fake it till you make it, guys.
Exactly. That's honestly what you have to do.
Fake it till you make it, because I talk about energy all the time. You put that energy into being that person. Like, no, I know what I'm talking about. You're going to start doing things to make you,
or start thinking of, like, okay, what would this person do?
Right.
Like, what would a good teacher do? What would a good like, asking yourselves those questions and then doing those things.
Bam.
And then all of a sudden you become that person.
Yeah. Fake it till you make it. If you don't have esteem, or you feeling like you don't have that confidence, that's normal. A lot of people don't feel confident. A lot of people have imposter syndrome.
Yes.
A lot of people do. Fake it. Pretend like you don't.
Right. Because otherwise, like, that is going to be just an excuse that your brain's telling you for why you can't achieve whatever. Well, that's just not who you are. Oh, you're just not that good at this, that's not your skill set. That's not, your brain tells you those things because it's scared.
It doesn't want change.
It doesn't want you to change or grow, but you know that you need to. So, and I feel like all of that is achieved in that esteem level. So, physiologically, you might be like, okay, yeah, I can do that. But once we start getting up there, it is hard.
It gets harder.
It's hard. So, again, it's not something that's necessarily going to happen overnight. Like, it's going to be something that you have to work on.
Because, mind you, you're still having to, while you're focusing on building your esteem and your confidence, you're still having to make sure you're meeting your physiological needs.
Right.
And so it's all a balance.
Yeah. And so some ways I think I've worked on esteem is through some of that personal development reading.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wish that I would have done that when I was, like, in my early 20s, because I just felt like I didn't know what I was doing at all. But, like, reading that and hearing, like, this is how your brain works. This is why, and it's so relatable of, like, yeah, I felt that way. And then learning, like, oh, this is just how your people's brains work, but this is how you get around it.
Yes.
I feel like that's helped me so much. And just making the time for that. But again, I couldn't make the time for that
Right.
if I was not having any energy, if I was worried about hung up in my feeling like I needed the relationships. Like, I couldn't get there until all those other levels were
That's it.
fulfilled.
Yeah, so. That's it. I really like the I Am app.
Yes.
For whenever I need that esteem or that boost.
Gosh.
It always knows what to say. Like,
right. It's,
literally.
It's really weird, actually.
Right?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's like the Apple Watch, but I don't know. But when I wasn't wearing my watch too, and it was just on my phone, it would still be coming through.
So it's an affirmation.
Yeah.
It's an affirmation app,
right.
and you can select different goals or areas.
Yeah, different types of affirmations. So there's like general, and then there's ones that are more work focused, ones that are more health.
For anxiety, I'm an
ones.
anxious person. Yeah. I work on that, and the anxiety ones really help. It's like, you're okay. Like, everything is okay right now.
Yeah. I remember like when I knew it was going to be a stressful week at work. For whatever reason, I just like upped the anxiety ones. And so they'd constantly be coming in and just saying, like, reassuring, like, you are okay. Like, I am going to get through this. This is temporary. Like, just little things. And I know it might sound cheesy at first, and you're like, yeah, that's weird.
I thought it was cheesy at first.
She didn't want to do it. But I was like, honestly, like, it helps me so much.
I think I like Marco'd you. I was anxious about something. I was like spiraling, and she was like, Paige, before you even do anything else, stop this recording and download this app. Do it now. And I was like, whatever, I'll do it. And it just gives you little reminders. And sometimes that's really all you need is a little reminder that you're okay, or that you are worth it, or just a little reminder. So the I Am app, I really recommend it.
Check that out, and I even do it for my students too. Like, they have kids ones and they have school ones. So I like always post those up on the board.
I love that. Charlotte's teacher does that too, and I love that. I love that you do that for your kids.
They love it, and it just gets them something like when the first thing they see when they come in the morning. And I always like do a different one, and sometimes they're like, what does that mean? And so then we talk about it, and they're like, oh, okay, so I'm sure it's not like mind changing for them every time, but even if it's just one time that they're like, I am accepted by others. I am a good friend. I am a good daughter. I am a good son. Like, just hearing that, because you never know, they might not be hearing it from anybody else. So
you're creating actualized little humans there. You really are.
And again, that faking it till you make it thing.
Yes.
Like, when you're sitting there reading those over and over, that's the type of energy you're taking into your body and your mind. And so you're just going to think more positive thoughts, especially when naturally the negative thoughts want to come in.
Yep.
So, all right. So then how do you know when you've reached actualization? Like, how did you know when the first time you like experienced it?
Well, I don't know that you ever really have a moment where you're like, oh, I'm actualized. Because I think it's always a state that you're achieving, working towards. Because even when you have everything together, I'm sure any motivational speaker or Tony Robbins or Mel Robbins. Those are just the two in my head. I'm sure even like we think they're actualized, but I'm sure they're still always striving. So how did I know that I was reaching that I was close to it? Just when I had peace and clarity. Really, when I realized I didn't care what XYZ was doing over there, or what they had to say about this, and I was just focused on me and my family and my people that I had identified as my people. Just, it gave me peace and clarity and purpose. So I guess just realizing that I was feeling pretty less stressed. I mean, because you're going throughout your day and you might not realize that, oh wow, I have this together. But when you just take a step back to reflect, like, I'm really happy. And I think, I mean,
and like you're doing, for me, it's like when I feel like, wow, the pieces are really just falling into place.
Yes. Oh my
you know, like,
gosh.
or honestly, it was for me the other day. I was looking back in my planner, and I had wrote last year that I wanted to travel more, and I was like, I did travel.
You
like,
did it.
I did. I went back and I like wrote down like where I went, like of all the trips, and I'm like, wow, out of this many months, like I went somewhere. I'm like, I am doing it. I'm like, I am doing it, and or just like, you know, because in my planner I had set like all sorts of different goals, like health and fitness, and like personal and financial, and like all these things. And I mean, not saying that I'm perfect in any of those areas, but I felt like, I'm like, wow, I really did make a lot of progress on those goals. And so I think a lot of it too is like the reflection piece of thinking like, you know, wow, I really am doing a good job.
Yes.
You know, I'm doing it. Like I'm living like what I wanted to become, or you know, when I would think about like, well, what would this person do if, you know, they were healthy? Like, to what would that feel like for me every day? Well, and really trying to kind of like manifest, like,
yes.
like what would that person
set the outcome?
Yeah, what would that person wake up in the morning and feeling like? What would they not be worried about? What would they, you know? And then realizing like, I'm living like that person that I was thinking about in my head. Like I have come so far, and like I am thinking about those things. And so I mean, again, it's a constant work in progress, because there are days when I don't feel like that. But I mean, I feel like just taking those moments to reflect, and that's when you kind of know. And then you know, and if it's not, then like, hey, well, what area do I need to kind of focus on today or this week to get there?
You mentioned something that we have to hit on, because I think that might be the key. How you know that you are reaching actualization is when things in your life become so aligned. Like everything comes into alignment. Everything that you've been working towards starts to connect. Think about us.
Yeah.
How all the little pieces, how me being a teacher, you being a teacher, us having these common interests, fitness and self-improvement. Think about how all of those things are now aligning together.
Yeah,
to what we're doing.
This podcast.
Right?
Right? What I mean, it still blows my mind. I was telling Paige, like, yeah, I was like scrolling through looking for a podcast the other day, and I just like saw ours, and I was like, oh yeah, we're doing that. Like we did that. It's still like that's. I'm like, I was like, oh yeah, I think that was a little piece of actualization.
Yes.
Right there.
Everything's coming into alignment.
Yes. And so that's why, like, on this podcast, like, why we decided to call it Actually Actualized. And because we're always working toward that.
Yes.
And we want to create episodes that are going to hit on all those different areas. So while it might seem like a little random sometimes, like, wow, they're talking about all sorts of different things, we see it as all being part of that pyramid, that, you know, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and just talking about different ways that we've experienced reaching those and working on those so that we can reach the actualization.
Yes, because our goal is to help you actualize, because it's really changed our life. Like coming into alignment, stepping into who we are, it's really helping us live our best selves,
right.
Be our best.
Have purpose, be who we're meant to be, become who we want to become. Like, I know it sounds a little woo-woo and stuff, but like, honestly, that's what we're all trying to do.
That's what everyone's
trying to do. However you want to say it, like, that's what we're all working toward. Yeah. All right, so Paige, we've been ending with questions people can ask themselves.
Yes.
And some action steps that they can take. So I think one thing that you can ask yourself is, within that pyramid, where do you see yourself on, you know, what you need to work on the most? And remember that, like, while you'd be like, well, I need to work on all of it. Start at the base. Like, start with one thing. You know, look at your physiological needs. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating to fuel your body? Are you getting movement in? Which area do you want to focus? And again, even within that base layer, like, you don't have to do all those things at once. Like, pick one thing that you think you could do better on.
And then you need to take action, and you need to realize that small action is better than no action. So find something that you can do to start working towards making that area better so that you can move to the next level.
And celebrate.
Yes.
Celebrate that you took action. Like, don't wait to celebrate until you get the outcome you want.
Yeah.
Like, I heard this the other day. It was like, celebrate action, not outcome. Because if you're waiting, so like, well, I haven't lost those 10 pounds yet, so gotta keep grinding. You know? Like, if you celebrate, like, I took an action to, you know, this week I hit my macros every single day. Like, even if I didn't get the outcome that I wanted yet, at least I took the action. And you can celebrate that, even if it's super small.
Yes. And know that it's an evolving process, and it takes time, and everyone can become actualized. You can. Everyone can. We're going to keep helping you reach that actualization, and it's going to be a fun ride while we do so.
See you next time.
Bye.